What car influenced the design of the McLaren F1? What's the world's first car to be made completely with aluminum and called the everyday supercar? Today we're looking at Acura. Today it's common to see Japanese luxury cars on the road, but back in the 1970s and early 80s, it wasn't like that. Those years were turbulent times for the U.S. automotive market. Gasoline shortages and economic downturn changed Americans' views against large luxury cars. Consumer interest shifted more towards economical, reliable cars that required cheaper maintenance and repairs. And the car makers that offered all that were Japanese brands, which made cars that were minimalistic and simple. Among them, Honda stood out especially. Honda had earned a reputation for reliability, fuel efficiency, and low prices that many competitors envied. Even the cheapest model from this brand did not compromise in quality. Honda had experienced significant sales growth. There was something else that helped Honda become a leader in the car market. Japanese companies, including Honda, were selling cars in the U.S. market, but assembling them in Japan. But Honda made a different move. They became the first Japanese manufacturer to assemble cars in the United States. It was a groundbreaking move. They set up a new plant in Ohio in 1980, and it's still there. I've been there. It's quite amazing. Honda's most popular models were the Civic, Accord, and the Prelude. The most expensive Honda Accord sold for around $10,000. The design was so simplistic that it lacked features such as power windows and leather upholstery. At the time, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi dominated the luxury market worldwide. But Honda had one important advantage: their assembly plant in the United States. By 1981, Honda began designing a new car for the luxury market. It was to be a sedan larger than the Accord, with Honda's first ever V6 engine. But they had one huge problem. The generation of Americans who grew up with Honda cars during the economic crisis associated the Honda brand with the economy class. It would be an uphill battle to change that perception to luxury. Any words like premium and luxury together with the word Honda just confused people. Honda developed a new sedan called the HX, which would later be called the Legend. The HX model was their vehicle to compete with Mercedes-Benz, Volvo, BMW, and others. It had a 24-valve V6 engine with electronic fuel injection. Its independent suspension on four-wheel disc brakes promised the handling of a European sports sedan. The interior had all the comforts you'd expect on a premium car, including air conditioning, anti-lock brakes, electrical accessories, and a premium stereo system. It also had a driver's side airbag and speed-sensitive power steering. The price point was $20,000. Almost double the base price of the Accord in those days. The main mechanical difference between the Legend versus Toyota, Mazda, and Nissan sedans was that this car was a front-wheel drive car. The design of the Legend was finished in 1982. Of course, any new endeavor always carries a certain amount of risk, but to associate a new brand with luxury when it only had one model in stock was double the risk. Honda realized the risks, and they took no chances. The company needed guaranteed success, not just a wild bet. So, Honda decided to create another car that would rank below the HX, but without weakening the image of the luxury and performance that it needed. This new car was called Integra. It had a 16-valve, four-cylinder engine with twin camshafts, an electric fuel injection system, a sophisticated chassis setup, and attractive styling. The Integra made the statement that the car maker was not just luxury sedans, but also premium sport coupes. The Integra competed with the Volkswagen GTI, and its style, technology, and performance complemented the HX and the new division. So having the second model under their belt put them in a better position. But still, there was another big risk. Honda's marketing team had a big decision to make. How do you convince potential buyers to choose a luxury car from Honda? After all, most buyers weren't interested in paying more for a car with the Honda H logo. That's why in 1984, Honda executives made the decision to launch the new luxury division with its own unique name, unassociated with the Honda name, so that it could stand on its own. But how do you create a name from scratch? So there was an American design company called Name Lab. They're naming experts. That's what they do. They create names for companies and products. Most people haven't heard of this company, but you've certainly heard of some of the names they created. For example, AutoZone, Nissan Sentra, Chevy Lumina, GMC Savannah, and Compaq. Naming is a whole science of its own and can involve psychologists, linguists, and semanticists. Here's how Nameland tackled the naming project for Honda. After several brainstorming sessions and meetings, they finally landed on the word Acu, which is a Latin word meaning mechanically precise or made with precision. They used this word as the basis to create a new word and name. The Acura logo, according to Honda, represents a vernier caliper, A caliper is a tool used for making high-precision measurements, so you can see how it fits with the name. People usually see how it forms a stylized letter A for Acura, although some people also say they see a skewed letter H as a hidden affinity with its parent company Honda. That's what I always saw. Now, this isn't the original logo, but it has been in use since 1990. In November 1984, a secret meeting was held at the Hilton Anatole Hotel in Dallas. This meeting brought together potential dealers and Honda executives in America. At the meeting, a dealership network plan for Acura was unveiled, and it laid out the requirements for potential dealers. First, they needed to have capital to build a new dealership. New dealerships needed to be separate from existing Honda dealerships, and they could not even be geographically close to them. They also had to differ in appearance from Honda dealerships, and not just the physical appearance. Each dealership needed to have a dedicated customer service center. The strategy was to show consumers that buying an Acura wasn't just about buying an expensive Honda car, but that it was a long-term relationship and an experience. The target key markets were Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, and other cities with high sales of luxury goods per capita. In November 1985, the Acura dealerships were operating in full swing in the United States. In Japan, at the Honda Tochigi test track, a group of American journalists from car magazines were given the opportunity to drive the Legend and Integra for the first time. The purpose was to let them experience the difference between Honda and Acura products, and they sure did. They noticed the difference in driving experience. In fact, Motor Trend magazine said they disagreed with some popular automotive media who remained skeptical about the viability of Japanese luxury brand. They thought that the odds of Acura's success was heavily in Honda's favor, and they believed that the Acura Legend was a terrific debut car. Journalists who test drove the Acura noted that the new sedan was not a copy of a European or American premium car, nor was it a repeat of a larger sedan model sold at the time by Toyota and Nissan. Car and Driver magazine said that in truth it was a new approach to the market. The Integra received favorable news too. On March 27, 1986, a division of the Honda Motor Group called the Acura Automotive Division officially opened in the United States. Despite success in the U.S. market, believe it or not, Acura brand isn't present in Europe or even Japan itself. That's because the company considers their primary markets to be the U.S., Mexico, and China. By the end of the first year, Acura had sold 52,869 cars and had grown to 150 dealerships. In 1987, sales continued to climb, with Acura announcing sales of 109,470 cars that year. This wasn't just double the previous year's sales, but it also surpassed all sales of European luxury car brands in the United States combined. By the end of 1987, Acura had already established itself as a luxury brand with an award-winning lineup of sedans and coupes. The Integra and the classic Legend Coupe, which were added to the lineup in 1987, were named the Car and Driver's Top 10 list. And the Legend Coupe was voted by Motor Trend as the best import car of 1987. Road and Track selected the Legend Coupe as one of the 10 best cars in the world. And of course, a significant mark of success was when Toyota and Nissan noticed and announced plans to create their own luxury car divisions in 1987. By entering the ultra-competitive American market with virtually only 2 Acura luxury models, Honda risked its image. But 30 years later, we see that the brand has not given up its position in the luxury car market. Take a look at the 2021 models. Next year, Acura will introduce 2 premium sports sedans. The Acura ILX with 201 horsepower and 180 foot-pound of torque. The TLX has 272 horsepower and 280 foot-pound of torque. The brand will also bring a new premium sports hybrid, the RLX, which has a 3.5-liter V6 engine with 310 horsepower and 272 pound-feet of torque. Of the SUVs, the Hexagon Crosser and the 2021 MDX hybrid SUV will be available also. Acura continues the lineup of its premium sports car. They unveiled the 2021 NSX hybrid supercar in Long Beach Blue. The name stands for New Sports Experience. The car boasts meticulous design, the power of a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 engine that's paired with 3 electric motors that produce 573 horsepower. The base price for this car is about $160,000. The first NSX entered the scene back in the 1990s. It's been said that Gordon Murray, the designer of the McLaren F1, once bought an NSX. The moment he drove it, he replaced Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini with the NSX as his reference benchmark for designing the F1, particularly due to the ride quality and handling suspension. It's safe to say that the company chose the right strategy when you look at its track record. the brand is still achieving outstanding results, and it stands out in the market. The main achievement was the recognition by American consumers that it's not just American or European-made cars that offer a luxury experience, but Japanese car makers could too. If you like this video, please share it. Thank you.